Hello, beautifuls. I wanted to talk today about reclaiming your power. Sounds exciting, doesn't it? Well, each and every one of us has access to a storehouse of information that when we follow and heed this guidance and information, we become powerful. We step into a place of self-empowerment. And wouldn't that be wonderful if each and every one of us could find that place? Well, the reason that many of us don't have access to that place is because it's not something that's valued by society. When we look at society today, we see a strong value on the rational mind, the logical mind. There's a value on rational principle, data, and fact-based evidence. And in the striving for that type of information, many aspects of ourselves have been considered less than valuable and even dismissed. For example, society quite often views our feelings and emotions as irrational, especially if you're a male growing up in the Western society. At least that's what I'm familiar with. How many times have you heard big boys don't cry? It's not manly to cry. There are other things we've been asked to also suppress and deny because it's considered irrational, and that is our intuition. When we look at many of the religious institutions in this world, they also perpetuate the suppression of our intuition. Actually, many of them even classify delving into the realms of our intuition as being evil. And they promote this idea that it is a fearful place. Many of the secular institutions promote the same thing. And yet, when we look at the foundation of all the religious institutions, they once were steeped in a deep knowing and understanding that each and every being was part of a collective spirit and a collective knowledge. And as we've seen, not only the religious institutions, but governments and educational institutions changing what they teach in regards to intuition and the inner knowing, it no doubt has to do with control, mind and behavior, but that's a whole nother video. No matter what reason, why it happened, why the change is occurring, the result is that we have been taught to rely on our rational mind and suppress and deny that connection to our inner knowing and our intuition. You know, the rational mind can be likened to a computer. It receives data and it processes logical calculations based on that data. It's finite. It cannot process anything it hasn't already received. Whereas the intuition and our inner knowing, the knowing that occurs on a cellular level that's been passed down through generations, through DNA, that information is infinite. It is part of the universal knowledge, the collective consciousness, as it were. And when we allow ourselves to tap into that place, because we are all, each and every one, connected to that database, the amount of information is infinite. Any area of our life that we need assistance and guidance, it's available to us. We just have to know how to access it. And because it's been many generations of suppressing it, we can liken it to a muscle. When we have not used a muscle for a really long time, it's clumsy and weak. And so might be our intuition if it's not something that we're used to using. And I just wanted to mention today that there are many ways in which we can start to strengthen our connection to our own personal database and connect into that deeper knowledge. And of course, one of them is to find stillness. We can't hear what that knowledge is if we are busy with everything around us. And another way in which we can learn to tap into this is really understanding the connection to our body, because much of that information comes to us through sensations in our body. Because I like to keep these videos short, that's where I'm going to actually leave it today. But know that there are many resources you can go to online in your library. There are many healers and helpers and energy workers such as myself who can help you learn to tap into that database. And I just wanted to share this perspective because we are all powerful when we are individually powerful. And that sense of community, I want everyone to have all the tools available to them to choose whichever ones they wish to use. Until we speak again, please be well.